In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel were the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said he would send plagues upon the earth before he frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. Shalom. Shalom, Hebrew. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 120. I want to say Yahweh Basham Yahushai Barakatam to my brothers, Yahweh Shamar Alatan Basham Yahushai to my sisters. Welcome to our Sunday evening scripture breakdown class, where we break down scriptures. All right. What we're talking about this week now? We're talking about should I say Christ? Yes. Yahweh HaMashiach, more popularly known as Jesus Christ. His ancient Hebrew name Yahweh HaMashiach. Yeah, you tell me now about what if a name and thing, but remember, we are the home of the truth. So we know his ancient Hebrew name. Undiluted. We know his ancient Hebrew name and we use it. He's Yahweh HaMashiach, otherwise known as Jesus, well, more popularly known as Jesus Christ. A lot of people know that that's not his name, you know. And they say, well, you know, if you teach the people them the right name, yeah. Teach them the right name, but to come in the truth and learn his right name. That's how it goes. All right. Now, a moment. Nice. Right. So, funny enough, you know, the Bible say some things which, I mean, you can reason it out, you can apply common sense and realize that what you are learning through what is passed down from Rome is not the true thing as the Bible said. You can see that sometimes. But you find that, people apply, I don't know. It's either they apply I don't care or they just go along with the narrative. Like you just say, all right, why? Since this is what everybody is saying, then this must be the way to go. All right, the first scripture I'm going to find? The one that says, where is it again? The one that says, I will give them a strong delusion. Strong delusion is what again? Was where? The L-E. Strong delusion in the Bible. King James Version. 2 Thessalonians 2:11.
Another one gone.
All right.
Another one gone. This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2.
Hold on. Read 10 to 12.
Another one gone. This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
All right, so here now the Most High.
Verse 11. And
hold
for
on,
this
Christ
cause
is
God
telling.
shall...
Hold on. Christ is saying, and the Most High is saying through his prophet, with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. Those of us who are dead to the Israelite culture, we are the ones that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth. Just like how you bring out the truth now, and they receive not the love of the truth. And that love of the truth is that they might be saved. But it's like, think of you see a man drowning, and you get into the water to help him come out, so that him don't drown. But instead of him hold and him allow you to save him wrestling with you. Him wrestling with you to prevent you from from saving him out of the drown, than saving him out of the water that he's drowning in. This is what it is saying right here. Because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. 11.
Another one gone. Verse 11. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie.
Right. So because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved, the Most High send them a strong delusion. That, right, since as you don't believe the truth, give you a strong delusion that you should believe a lie. So you allow your oppressor to give you the white Christ, which it is so obvious that is not so, because the truth is in the Bible. And many of you read the truth, and yet still you choose to believe the lie. This is what the Most High is talking about. 12.
Another one gone. Verse 12. That they all may be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
So you have pleasure in unrighteousness. You have pleasure in eating the pork. You have pleasure in sleeping with whores. You have pleasure in sleeping with your brother's wife. You have pleasure in stealing, being a murderer, being a shotter, being a hitman, being you name it. Those are the pleasures, the things that are not lawful that you pleasure in. So because you don't want to believe, you don't want to stop those things that you are pleasuring in. You believe, you don't want to believe the truth. So the Most High said a strong delusion that all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. That is what it is all about. So when we hear talking about, Christianity said that and Christianity said this, we are not merely just saying things. We know what we are saying. All right, take me to Daniel 7 and 9.
Another one can. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the ancients of days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
All right. So here in Daniel now, Daniel is we're showing you from the scriptures, the description. But we're showing you that color is in the Bible. Because what people love to tell you is color of Christ doesn't matter. Now, if it doesn't matter, why would the Most High put it in the Bible? Because he said, prove all things. So he showed unto Daniel now, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair on his like pure wool. So the Ancient of Days, this is Daniel getting a vision and him seeing the Most High. Of course, he wouldn't see the Most High's face. Ancient of Days, that is the Most High is referred to as the Ancient of Days. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. So he saw the Most High in a chariot. His wheels as burning fire. Now here as pure wool, that white Christ that you were given, that's not woolly hair. And you see it and you know it, but the delusion not allowing you to believe the truth. Revelation 1, 13 to 15.
Another one can. Another one can. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
All right, so
verse 14.
This is This is a vision that John the Revelator got. Who gave him this vision? Read Revelation 1 and 1.
Another one can. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of YAHANNA, or Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him, to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
All right, by his angel unto his servant John. So it's the book of Revelation is the revelation of Jesus Christ. It's about Jesus, right? The things to come after Christ was in Jerusalem. right? And until his return. So revelation was given unto John for that purpose, to show him things shortly to come. All right, drop back down to 14 now.
Another one gone. Verse 14. His head and his ear were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Verse
Here again now. So in Daniel, the ancient of days, his head was white as wool. And here in Revelation, the revelation of Christ, clothed in white garment, just like his father, and his head and his hairs were white like snow. Sorry, like wool. So he had woolly hair like the Most High. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. He had red eyes. All right, continue.
Another one gone. Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
His feet like fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. So his foot basically black. You burn anything, you get black. So you can't say black feet. All right? Are dark polished brass. Certainly not white. Why we keep saying things like those? You bring this, you bring the picture of Caesar Borgia and show people that this is Caesar Borgia, and you read this scripture unto them, and they make up them face as if it is you that is telling the lie. It is the Bible that is telling the lie. Right? This is how image is strong, you know. They behave as if it's the Bible that is telling a lie. It's not. The problem is not within their mind. The problem is with you, who is trying to disprove lies and to tell your people the truth. Right? Many of them go as far as saying, if you are sick with a deadly disease and the doctor who have the cure or the know how to bring you back, prevent you from dying. Would you care if he is of, they put it two ways, would you care if he is of a race of people or somebody you don't like? And they say, would you care if he is black or Chinese or white or whatever? And of course you're going to say no, you don't care. Because when you on your dying bed, the thing that you concern about is getting off that dying bed. You don't really think of who is going to save you. And you're going to say, I like it, but I like China, you know, I don't want China doctor to come look after me. Really and truly, you're on a dying bed, you're not going to think of that. But this is not the case. This is not the case. This is a case where the Most High is going to send the Savior or the doctor to you. So he is giving you the description of the one who has the cure. Now, I'm going to ask you this. If you were on your dying bed and the doctor who has the cure was a black man, he has black skin and a red eye, and you were told that the one who is going to come and give you the cure is one with black skin and red eye, are you going to allow one with white skin and blue eye to come and operate on you?
Lord.
That is the counteraction we have to them. Right? Because the case is this. Yes, you are on a dying bed, as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are on our dying beds, right? And the Most High is sending a Redeemer. And and in Daniel and in Revelation, he gives you the description of the Redeemer. And he tells you that this Redeemer who is to come to you, all right, his head and his ears, his head and his ear is as white as wool, as white as snow. His eyes like they're burning, his eyes like flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they were burnt in a furnace, right? And give you the description of the doctor who have the medicine to save you. So him give you that description. Why would you allow someone who is not of this description to come and operate on you? You see how the delusion really strong?
God.
That is how strong the delusion really is. Because think of you, tell me a sickness, cancer. Cancer is one which you're sick and you have it, you can walk around, but you're dying. Doctor might tell you, say, might tell you that you have 2 weeks to live. Well, most time sometimes it's shorter than that, sometimes a little longer than that. So for argument's sake, let's say the doctor tell you that you have 2 weeks to live, right? And you walking around, you have little strength, but you're dying. And that doctor don't tell you that, well, you know, you have the cure. You're in Clarendon. The doctor tell you that there is a cure for this sickness that you have, you know. There is one that can cure it. But here the thing now. He has black skin. His skin is as fine brass as if it was burning a fire. His voice was as the sound of many waters, and his ear white like wool, and his eye like flaming fire. This is the doctor who has the cure for you.
God.
Somewhere between you leaving Clarendon and getting into Kingston, somebody show you a description of a white skin person. I say red skin, because we call them white man, but they're really red man. A red skin person with ear that is not white, and it doesn't have a woolly texture, right? Let's say his eyes not blue, but it's not like flaming fire. Or even if it is even like flaming fire, the skin color doesn't match the description, and his hair doesn't match the description. And they slip that image to you. Are you going to let that person be the one to operate on you? That's my question. When you were already told, repeat?
Ah.
Right. When you were already told who have the cure, now you would be stupid to let anyone other than the description that was given to you operate on you. But we today now, we're going to church because we're going there and we clap and sing and feel good. And I will tell you this, people gotta dance and come back feel good just the same. So if you feel good you want, it's just a matter of if you love, and we can go to one of them hotels where you have the jazz bar. So if you're a person who loves jazz music, you can go in there and get some jazz and feel good just the same. If you love reggae, you can go in there and dance and feel good. But no, we love Christian music. Nothing wrong with loving music. But something is wrong in you just loving to feel good. because it's just the feel good we want. So since as we want the feel good, the Most High give us that feel good in a, what we call a delusion. Is that so? Yes, it is so. It's called a delusion. Just like we already. I should read it. You know, we should keep our finger on that part because we're going to refer to it several times. What is it again? Second Thessalonians.
No, with the Revelation 1 and 15.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying we're referring to Second Thessalonians 10 from time to time. So I'm going to open up another.
Okay.
Want another scripture now on here that just stays on that. Second Thessalonians 2.
Another one gun.
10 or 11. Right, Second Thessalonians 2 and 11. So we're going to keep on that. For this cause, God shall send them strong delusion. So because you get the description of who Christ look for, but you still want to look for somebody else. See the delusion there? White skin, white skin, blonde hair man, as opposed to a dark skin, white, woolly hair man. That's the description that is in the Bible. And you can struggle and fight in your head as much as you want. The truth is you can't beat the truth. That's the truth. The truth is you can't beat the truth. So since as you can't beat the truth, you're going to find something else. Now that delusion comes in Christianity and it comes in Muslim. Yeah, because the Muslim tell you that Muhammad is the man that God sent after Christ. You know, that's what the Muslims say. I never listen to the Muslims. You don't know much about them. I don't know much about them either. But I know that's what they say. That Muhammad is the man who comes after Christ. But this is why they fight so much wars, because they believe in something where we as Israelites, we have never gone to war with any nation to believe what we believe in. We don't have no history of that. Like I said, we're going to invade that country and let them believe what we believe in. We never do that. And every nation under this earth has taken us into their belief system. The Muslims fight war with to believe what they believe. Rome did it under the banner of Christianity for us to believe what they believe. You're going to India, just the same. There is Hindu, there is Krishna, there is Shiva. And, you know, India is one of the countries with probably the most religions. Probably have more religion than Africa. Certainly have more than China, because China don't have much religion. They have a lot, but not as much as the Indians. Not as much as the Africans either. Shintoism, Buddhism. What else? There's not much I know. Sikhism is, I think, is Hindu. Right? It's just like back in the days when we were in the land and there was, what was around us? Baal and Baalim. What they call the other one then again? Molech, Ashtoreth, right? All those were around us, meaning they were the borders, the countries, because we were in the middle, you know, and we were bordered by countries, other countries around us, other nations. The Philistines had we read it the other day, their God was Dagon, right? That was the Philistine. Then there was Chinese with them Chemosh, or the Japanese with Chemosh. There was Chemosh, there was Molech, there was Baal, there was all a different thing. And yet still we never really invade any and say we'll convert them to our way of life. But all of them come and took us over. Because as far as they're concerned, just by we worshiping our God and keeping our way of life, it's a problem to them. Because once we do that, them can't reign over we. And what is in their head to reign over you? Yeah, because them know how strong you be. Which other nation back can take so much sunshine, sunlight in cutting them cane? But when I do it again, that's why they make sure they're gonna make machine. Right? So this is a part of the delusions that have been reaching us from back then. Because many of us as Israelites look back and say, look at the path that we have to travel and say, why this too part are too rough, you know, man. Because it's not a smooth path. There are times when you're worshiping God, but you're still hungry. Right? And you look across the fence and you see the man who worship Baal and Chemosh, and you say, why have I never see them here say them people are hungry? And you look and you say, you can't go worship for them God. That for them God never punish them for doing wrong things. But as we do something wrong, for God punish you. Or worship them man, the God there, man. Not knowing that by you doing that, because you have the covenant with God, you know. The other nation don't, you know. If you read Deuteronomy 28, it tells you you have the covenant with God. The other nation don't have no covenant with God. So the Most High doesn't punish them when they go off track. So they can go and them worship. They tell you that according to Chemosh, according to Molech, you should put your son through the fire. But what happens if they don't do it? There's no Chemosh is wood and stone, and Chemosh can't punish them. You get me? But your God says, follow these laws, or I will punish you. And then no, you say, boy, can't believe them laws either, boy. They're too rough. Shrimp smell nice, man. I smell the pork very nice, man. I'm going to eat peace. I want to eat pork. I want to eat shrimp. I want to eat ham. You understand? And you go and you eat it. And you get punished. While the other nations eat it and don't get punished. Because he has no covenant with them. He has a contract with you. And this is why you try so many things outside of keeping the laws and you go nowhere. Even when it looks like, yeah, I read somewhere. There's so much black man end up in a prison. None of those who end up in the prison. At the time they end up in the prison, most of the time, because there are persons who, in the truth, might get a lockup. Spend a couple nights in a jail and get a case. Man, in the truth, get locked up and get tried, and by the help of the most, I get freed and thing, right? But the point I'm making, the majority of us that is in the prison, many times they don't commit the crime that they are being locked up for. But it is a way for the most I punish you for breaking his laws. You get me? Yeah. Back when we were in Jerusalem, if you eat pork, what they would do to you? They would kill you. That death sentence you're gonna get. or if you get a death sentence, you're excommunicated from the country because they are now teaching people to eat pork. If you eat pork today, what happened to you? If you should eat pork today, what happens to you? Right. There's no all right. There's no punishment to say. The punishment that the most I will give you is health. Right? So in other words, you cannot eat pork in your house and nobody no business with you. Nobody now come kick down your door and dry you out, go flag you or something because you're eating pork, right? But the most I know might say, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'll make you go in a prison for no reason. You know, they say, he don't do nothing and then come kill him. You ever hear that? Sometimes mistaken identity, sometimes stray bullet. But it's the Most High's way of punishing you. And you have to remember too that you commit the sin many times, and it's your children who pays. Daniel 10 and 5-6.
Another one gun. Another one gun. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 5. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with the fine gold of Uphaz. Verse
All
6.
right, go on, finish it.
Verse 6. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude.
All right, so this is Daniel. Remember, Daniel got the vision of how Christ looked before Christ even born. John the Revelator come back and got a vision of how Christ looked after Christ died and was risen. And both vision coincide. Right? So what Daniel was seeing was Christ coming back to war, coming back to make war with the nations. And trust me, the nations know that. As a matter of fact, America knows that. That is why they're building the Space Force. They know that. From in the 60s, they talk about, what if we were to be invaded by a nation, they didn't say extraterrestrial or alien hour. But they say, what if we were to be invaded by a force that is not of this world? Something like that. That's how, after that, now they make the movie. You remember the movie of Mars? With the green man, them are green man, them are come and invade Earth and I run around and shoot people or something. Right. It's the scripture that take them things from, I put it in their little way of how they think it might be happening, you know. But they use green rather than black. Because the angels are black. So Daniel got the vision. John the Revelator got the vision. Nobody in Rome got the vision. But at the same time, we got a picture from Rome that is so strong that we push aside the Bible, which we got. The information we get before we get the white image, we put it aside and take the white image. What would have made someone do something like that? Strong delusion. And people still struggle with it. Ezekiel 1, 5-7.
Another one can. Another one can. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 5. Also, out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. Verse 6. And everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. Verse 7. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass.
So here again, now, Ezekiel got a vision, seen into the heavens, into the dimension where the Most High is. He saw 4 great creatures, which are really angels, right? He saw them in their natural form with 4 faces. We have 1 face, we see right in front of us, don't? Think of you having eyes in front of you, eyes to your right, to your 2 sides, and eyes behind you. That's a 360 vision you're having there, right? True or false?
True.
I have a 360 vision right there. So Ezekiel saw the angel in his natural form. And everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole were like the sole of calf's foot. That was tender, and according to the boot that they had on. This is where they get the design for the ninja boot, you know. Or the ninja boots stay. You just have 1 split in the middle here, so like a calf's foot. And it's the sole of that shoes that the ninja wear is soft. So a ninja can screech up on him. You don't have no boot. You wear that soft sole shoes. This is where they get it from. All right. And they sparkled like color of burnished brass. So there you have the burnished brass again. And this is the description of the angel. So Christ black, the angel black. Christ have burnished brass, the angel have burnished brass. Right? Christ wasn't white. The angels wasn't white either. So why they give you this? This was all a plan for white supremacy. To put themselves in your mind as God, so that you will revere them. You will respect them, and you won't want to kill them. When you are being oppressed, what's the first thing come to your mind? If you kill the man who oppress you, man. Yeah. Exactly. But when the man who oppress you looks like the man who you get as God, then surely you're saying, you subconsciously are saying, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So it must be God punishing me. Because the man who punished me look like who me see God look as. Right? And then they show you the devil. And the man who you see doing the killing and thing around you looks like the man who you hold as in your mind as the devil, which is your brother. Which anyway, they are the ones who teach your brother to murder. This delusion is too strong. All right, Jeremiah 14:2.
Another one can. Another one can. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish, They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
All right. Now you should take note of these scriptures again, young man. Come on, you'll see them again. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. All right. Meaning the ground is of what's the shade of dirt outside? What shade of dirt you have outside here? Black. All right. Up in Manchester, what's the shade of the dirt? Red. And if you go, say, some parts of St. Catherine, what's the shade of dirt you see? Deep brown. Deep brown. Right. I have some here you go, it's pure marl. That is what? White. Marl is what color? White. Sometimes one creamish color, right? So if Judah is black onto the ground, the ground is of many shades, many colors. So that is why we don't even though we show you say Christ, the description and color of Christ, we don't really tell you that all the Israelites you see is black. Right? Because this is just talking about the Judah, the southern kingdom or the tribe of Judah. And there's many colors within the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom is just the same. As a matter of fact, the northern kingdom have more red-skinned people than the southern kingdom of Israel. So Judah in mourning, gates thereof languish, meaning that they don't have no good leaders. The leaders for Judah, they are like your T.D. Jakes, they are like your what the pastor they out there again name. Tell more than the famous pastor you have out here. Yeah, man. You call the right one. Al Miller, the one who them in charge because him losing firearm. And who they catch. Now him never catch Dudus with. Right. So the gates thereof languish, meaning that our leaders are not protecting us as a people. You notice when the white man throw anything at us, they never hear the church come and speak out against it. But they speak out against the criminals that are made of our people. But they don't speak out against who make the criminals. You ever hear them talk? You ever hear them? What you hear since you come here when we show you what the CIA did? You ever hear that in another church? You ever hear a church preacher talk about that? Never. And you will never hear them talk about it. Because they don't care. So they don't show you that part, but they show you the crime that is happening. And saying that we too murderous. As a people, we too murderous. And all those who go fired, and hear them talk about how you don't yard, they're not too wicked. That's why I now come back down there. We're not too wicked. All you know I do a kill off. We come up here and work and we take care of the most time, and when you come down there, we don't kill we off and thing. Well, the same place that they're going to build up, that is the place that the group who came down here to teach us to kill each other come from. That is one. And two, what they don't see is the fact that because this happened, they now most time come down and become victim because of what happened up there. There was one case that happened, I don't know if it's Portland or where the man, this woman was building a nice house out here, nice big house. Each time she come out, she have a man down here she par with. And then the last time she come now and she tell the man, say, boy, I know you may have live in there now. Whatever she did tell him. All we know is that she was missing. And they hold on to the man who each time she come is him and she. And then after a while, him carry them go show he brought the authorities, the cops, to show where he buried the body. And how he been buried, in concrete it and all that. Because they use even dogs. You know, they have some dogs that can sniff and find the bones, human bone below ground. The sniffer dog couldn't pick it up. I want to check it out. What was happening? She married to a man in England, you know. I wanted a man up there in England. I have this man down here in Jamaica. So this man down in Jamaica believes say I'm wife. He know well, he know I'm married, but he believes my look say why when she come out and me and her I go married, you know, cause she build a nice house and thing, and me are the man. Because she never see him come out there with no man. Every time she come out and him and him go around and thing. Only if him get him heart broken. And then now where they say, oh, no down at Jamaica, no down the wicked. And they never talk, you never hear them talk about say she was playing the whore. She married a white man. She had dated an ex-white man. The other white man don't even know that she married to an ex-white man. You know? She has spent two of them money. I build the house down there. The one who she knows she go and live with is the one who she actually married to, who was a white man. So she met the man down and know, say, see, next time I come out, I mean, and this man here go come out. The man getting jealous, rage, and kill her. All right? Crime of passion. They don't play with people heart like that. And what our law said, don't make our women should not be the war. We should not make wars of our women, but our women now making wars of themselves. Because the gates of Judah have been languishing. Those who are supposed to teach the people, not teaching them the things. You see the woman in a little short skirt and something. We in the truth now will tell us, sister, go put on clothes. Don't come stand up in front of me and talk to me half naked. We will tell them that. The man in the church said him not do that. Him look and him peep and him enjoy and him get an eyebrow. You ever hear that term? Right? And him go on and enjoy it. But we in the truth, we tell you the truth. And it burns when we tell them that. Then curse we. And tell we all kind of things. But the true path is always narrow. And few there are that find it. Because the majority of people can't bother with giving up the things that they so love in the world. Eh? One of the sweetest things in the world is sex, you know. Sweeter than pork, sweeter than crab, shrimp, and lobster. But there is rules as to how you do it and who you do it with. The most I let you know that you can go and do it with any nation. Right? Our leaders now, a man, a Israelite man or an Israelite woman can come stand up in front of him with any other race and bestow the Lord's blessings on them. When the Most High tell us that, oh God will bless you and that marriage, when he tell us that you shouldn't be marrying other people. So what? Is you command God blessing? God don't command him own blessing. God have no say in who he bless. That's the way the church make it looks. Because the gates of Judah is languishing. All right. Where are we now? Songs of Solomon. 1 and 5.
Canada one gun. This is the book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon.
All right, so Solomon, in his time, who we have as the most prosperous king in Israel, to sit on the throne of David was a black man. I am black but beautiful. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Well, Solomon used to love enough woman, you know. Solomon was what we call today a coxman, right? Meaning that he was what, for you, if you have 1,000 women, you know. But I tried to do that maths the one time, you know. You have 52 weeks in the year. If you even can only spend 1 week with one of those women, there's only 52 you go through for the whole year. So how many years you going to take you to spend a week with all those women? Anyways, the Bible said he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. The queen of Sheba claimed that she was one. When claimed to be now? One of the concubines? And go back and establish themselves Menelik the first, which there is no record of that in the Bible. Anyways, King Solomon letting us know that he was black. So Christ black, the angel black, the people of Solomon was black, one of our great kings. Who else was black? Acts 3:13 and 1. Book of Acts chapter 13, verse 1.
Another one can. This is the book of Acts chapter 13 and 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch, and Saul.
All right. So here you have one named Simeon that was called Niger. The word Niger, I think, is Latin, which means black. Today, though, we don't say Niger. What they call you? What they call you? If you go in America, what we're going to hear the white people say, what's that Niger? Nigger. A nigger. Spell the same way. Yeah. So from back in Bible days, there was one that was so black that they call him a nigger. And today we are so black that they call us Negro. Negro is a Spanish word which means black. You ever buy the black shoe polish and you see Negro right on it? You ever notice that? You never notice it? When they write it in Spanish, they write Negro. What's your dirty face? What kind of race you can call me? Black polish? But anyways, that's a Spanish name for black, Negro. And you are when you're writing your race, you're pulling out a form and they say national race. You write Negro. Which kind of race of people get named black? The white man has never write white on any of them in farms, you know. Him write British.
God.
Him write American. Him don't even write European. What race are you? But maybe the ones nowadays might just write white, but it's really Caucasian they're supposed to write. Hmm? What would the Indian man write? He write Indian. If you go to India and you have a child, you know, that child is known as an Indian. You know? Because an Indian is someone born in India. And yet still we have so many of those Elamites in Jamaica, having children in Jamaica. And say, oh, come here, Indian man. We still call him an Indian man, don't? Right. So which other don't still call you an Israelite? Because they want that name disappear from the face of the earth. The nation, they want what you have, but they don't want you. In other words, all the glory you read about in the Bible, Great River Jordan and things, today they have they allow a lot of tourists going to River Jordan go dip in that dirty water. Water dirty though. And they go to dip in that dirty water because they read about the River Jordan in the Bible. Many of them go to baptize in the River Jordan, just like John did. Well, guess what? Many of them will die, just like those who were following John and didn't come over to Christ, just like how them did. I'll see where they're going to die. But you in the truth, you have a different breed. You are becoming one who is not afraid to tell people the truth. And that is the greatest thing you can have. What greater love can you give to your child than to tell the child the truth about this world? When you have a child living in fairy tale and thing, is the fairy tale child them get messed up, you know? They mess up them brain. Because the reality where they come and see is different from what you used to tell them. But what greater love can you give to your child and to tell them the truth? Say, listen, you are an Israelite, you know. If you don't keep the Most High's commandment, you see all them wickedness and things you see happening to the people out in the world, it's going to happen to you too. So you're going to have to keep it. It's not what, how should I put it? It's not if you want to do it, or I have the right to choose, like they tell you in the church. Well, not just the church. You hear that in the world. You have the right to choose. That's not true for you, the Israelite. You don't have no right to choose, because if you choose anything other than God, you pay for it. They want to perish. That is the reality. All right, take me to Matthew 1:21. So you see that Christ was black, the angels are, well, God was black. When they saw his ear like wool, Christ have the same ear like where the Most High have, and you have the same ear like what Christ have. Christ have burnished feet like burnished brass. The angels have feet like burnished brass. Solomon says he was black. Job 2, man. Take me to Job 30:30.
Can everyone can? Can everyone can? This is the book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 30. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burnt with heat.
My skin is black upon me. Remember Job was going through a rough time. Now, when you're going through starvation, or you're going through some seriously hard time, you get some sickness. It's the only sickness that changed the color of your skin would be leprosy. And Job saying that his skin is black upon him because he's burned with heat, telling you that he was a black man. So there are so many examples in the Bible, and there are others where you saw where the description of the people in the Bible were black skinned. Nowhere in the tell you where any of them was white skinned. And why is this important? So that we know to look for the one, we have the description of the one, the doctor that is coming to save us, to salvage us, to give us a salvation. The Most High give us the description. And that's the one we are to look for. We are not to look for the one that was given after these scriptures were written. Right? So color does matter. The color show you the man who, the color show you the one who have the medicine to heal you. Matthew 1:21.
Another one can. This is the book of Matthew chapter 1 verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins.
So Christ now, who the scripture describe as feet with burnished brass, the people that he was leading were some black-skinned people. And now in Matthew, we're going back to when the Christ was being born. She shall bring forth a son. This is when the angel was talking to Joseph. And Joseph wondered, boy, if him should go ahead with the marriage for Mary, with Mary. The Most High, the angel come to him and said, go ahead with the marriage, man. I saw the Most High want it. Take her, man. Don't put her away. She shall bring forth a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sin. So Christ came to save who? Who Christ, according to the scripture now, Christ came to save who? His people from their sin. Matthew 10:5-7.
Another one can. Another one can. This is the book of Matthew chapter 10 verse 5. These 12 YAHANNA sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. Verse 6. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Verse 7. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
All right, so we are to preach at the kingdom of heaven, and it is more at hand now than even, well, in the time of Christ. Why the urgency was being placed on it was because Jerusalem was going to fall. And it's only who did believe in Christ and his teaching. They were the ones who managed to escape the Roman persecution in 70 AD. Well, today, we say that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Why? Because the return of Christ to come and fight or to redeem his people is close, pretty close. All the indication in the Bible, the things that you look for during this time, bit by bit is being fulfilled. All the signs. You know, like when you look outside and you say, look like it's going to rain. And many times it rains, don't? Because you see the cloud set up. So when you look at what is happening and you see the pieces being put together, you say, you know, war soon break out. A serious war soon break out. Yeah. And until one day it just happened. So Christ here now was sending out his disciples to go to camp to preach to his people by the wayside, not in the temple. And he sent his 12 and commanded them, go not in the way of the Gentile, and to any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. The Samaritan was the Samaria was the northern kingdom. So he was telling them, nobody go up in a Samaria, because the northern kingdom Israelite, them didn't get kicked out already before Christ. They were removed from the kingdom before Christ was born. Probably about 300 to 500, anywhere between 300 to 500 years before Christ came. They were removed from that kingdom and came into this region known as Nazareth. So Christ told his disciples, don't go in the way of the Gentiles. Who were the Gentiles? The Gentiles were those people or other nations who are not of the law. So Christ was telling them, don't go into areas where nobody go preach to them other people. It don't make sense because his salvation is not for them. And don't bother go where the Samaritans are because they are not up there. All right, go ahead now. Continue.
Where say read past verse 7?
Oh, you had to read 7 already. But
Continue.
go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The lost sheep of the house of Israel was also called Gentiles. Why? Because they were in the world living like the other nation. They were living just like how you're living now, not knowing the truth, eating what you want to eat, clean shave your head if you want to, sleeping with who you want to sleep with, murdering, doing this, doing that, just like today. But Christ was sending his disciples to those Israelites who were lost, who were called the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now, after Christ died, and Paul and the other, which other apostles or disciples came after, they didn't say lost sheep of the house of Israel. They just call all of them Gentile. Those Israelites who were the lost sheep of the house of Israel, they were referred to as Gentiles because they were living like Gentiles. They were living among the other nation, behaving just like the other nation. And when you go amongst them, preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. See in Matthew 15,
Slack, sir. You know, when I get to you just a while ago, the signal.
and 24.
I say 15 and 24. Thing you log. What you say? 15 and 24, right?
But he answered and said, came to him a lady of another nation, came to Christ to say, send her away, for she cried after us. And he answered the woman and said,
Slack, sir. Look like a signal a break up bad. Yes, sir. Your signal look like it break off, you know. Can just reconnect. The last thing actually here is when you move on to read the scripture yourself. 15 and 24, Matthew 15 and 24. But
All right, do you hear me now?
Gone, sir. Yeah, man. Loud and clear.
Some reason you were quiet fine. All right, so all right, you want to read back that?
Another one.
Matthew 15:24.
Another one. Can. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 15:24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right. So Christ was telling the woman who was running after him that she was begging healing. Christ said, listen, I never come to nobody but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Them same black people here we don't like is them is them I come to save. But this time it's gonna be different. When he returns this time, they won't be able to run after him and ask, Master, save me. Oh, DJ Wu was saying I'm breaking up. I hope I'm coming clearer now, DJ Wu. You know that person who is DJ Wu?
A Chevai.
Trevor.
Yeah.
And Trevor is supposed in a class, man.
Yeah, man. Him a sign in. I sign up him sheet and thing.
Sign up. Oh, shoot. Put up a thing there. You can put up a sign-in sheet. Are you want me to do it?
Put it up already, man.
Huh?
Put it up already. You hear me?
I hear you. Oh, right. This right here, so.
Gone.
All right. Right. So that's Matthew 15, John 4 and 22.
Another one gone. Another one gone. This is the book of John, chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
John 4 and 22. Ye worship, you know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. Salvation is for the Jews. So the other nation don't really need to get jealous. I mean, when you look at the meaning of salvation, to salvage, which set of people on the face of the earth need to be salvaged? The black people, man. We are the only one without any ruler that is for us, The Indian man, the China man, the Arab, all of them have rulers that look out for them, which is why they in America can go head to head most time. Take, for instance, the black Americans. Who they have looking out for them? No organization. That is why the cops kill at will. Right? There's no one to stand up for them. That is a classic example of the gates of Judah being languishing. There's no one to stand up for them. Kick out, get housing crisis. You get the first ones to get kicked out of the houses in the housing crisis. And this thing here where them said Joe Biden and Kamala Harris forgot to sign, and they probably getting evicted. I can tell you, majority of black people going to get evicted. Maybe that's why they forget. Because there's no leaders looking out for the Israelites. The TD Jakes, who else? Which other black pastors there over there? Creflo Dollar. Who else? TD Jakes, Creflo, who else as a black? You remember Jesse Jackson? But Jesse Jackson was more Al Sharpton. You remember Jesse Jackson was more a political leader. All of them, none of them can successfully look out for the black Americans. Why? Because Judah Gates is languishing. No leaders. Their main aim is money for themselves. So even if they get up and speak out for the black Americans, it's all about what they can get out of it. You remember Kanye West, same turn Christian and blah blah blah. It's so much millions of dollars Kanye makes. Kanye making in a short time. And then you're not much about him right now. Because he has become such a fat cat. Come all out here about him have gospel concert.
Yeah.
And selling Jamaican copyrighted things. T-shirt and thing with Jamaica flag and something. And no revenue coming towards us. That's the kind of leaders we have amongst our people. Right? But under command in general, when you pay your tithes to the I.S.U.P.K, what do you think that money go to? That money go towards taking care of the brothers, feeding people, housing people, and so on. We do what we can with them. Running the schools, basically, with those funds. Not so in the church. You pay your tithes, it goes in a sinkhole. Some come back to fix up the church. As a matter of fact, anytime the church want to fix, they have tea party and all kind of fundraising thing. Then you wonder, so what we are throwing money for?
God.
Just to pay a light bill and water bill and pay a pastor. No matter the amount of money where the church get. Whenever time they need to do some things, they have fundraising for that. Money is never too much for them. Right? You see the Anglican church take on feeding people and thing, But trust me, that is out of abundance. That church is so rich. You never believe how rich it is. You see the Food for the Poor organization out here, run by the Catholic Church. It's like an industry. Food for the Poor house, they never run out of the house there. Them house there. If everybody in Jamaica want one, they can get it. Never run out. And this is out of abundance. This is just what was stolen from you as a people. But such is it. We are the ones who need to be salvaged. That is why salvation is for us. We have no one looking for us. They give you a little poor house, but you want to have a decent house, and you own with that one there. They just give you a little house to prevent you from sleeping out in the cold. You understand? That is where we are as a people. That is what John Acts 5:30 and 31.
Canada one can.
Book of Acts.
Canada one can. This is the book of Acts chapter 5 verse 30. The God of our fathers raised up Jesus, whom he slew and hung on a tree. Verse 31. Him as God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins.
All right. The God of our fathers raised up Jesus, whom he slew and hung on a tree. Acts was written by Peter, I think. Right? And this was after Christ dead. Peter cut them now for giving up Christ. The God of our father raised up Jesus. Yes, the same Jesus who no kill and hang on tree. Him hath God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sin. I want to kill him. But you know, that's the way the Most High wanted it. So that he can come back in this last days here to save us, or to give us the true salvation with his chariots. All right, Romans 9:4-5.
Another one gone. Another one gone. This is the book of Romans chapter 9 verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises. Verse 5. Whose are the fathers, and of whom as concerning the flesh Christ came, who is over all, God bless forever. Amen.
All right. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption. So the Israelites, that's the blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans, to us is pertaineth the adoption. Why is it called adoption? Because we were kicked out, we were cast out of the land. We were cast off from the Most High. Not knowing is only when we start preaching the truth, 1969, people know that, yeah, for sure, we are indeed Israelite. People had idea. Yeah, we did have just idea here in Jamaica too. We never know what tribe. We say we are Israelite. And then the Rasta one now come up with this idea about you have 12 months, depending on which month you're born, that tell you which tribe you belong to. Nothing never goes so. That was just, 12 tribes have a lot of white man in it. And Indian and Chinese. Other nations. You know that? You know. We call 12 tribes. You know, we are the 12 tribes.
Yeah, I know the 12 tribes.
That's one group of the Rastafarian. Right. And they talk about but is dependent for you to know which tribe you were born. It depends which month you were born. So you see, by doing that now, you see the white man in that 12 tribe, he can come and tell us, I'm Benjamin. Deep down, he knows not go say no. He know man is Israelite, But them trying to engraft themselves into your culture. But it is to us, the true Israelite, is pertaining the adoption, the glory. Why is it called glory? Because in the end, when Christ come and save you, you'll be glorified. So that's the glory. The covenant, the same covenant that we keep breaking, it pertains to us. The giving of the law was given to us. The service of God and the promises, that's for us. God has never called another nation to go out and speak for him. Never. We are the only one he has ever taught his ways. And what are his ways? You break him law, you'll get punished. Right? There is consequences for your action. The other nation don't know that. That is why the white man get up. You notice in America, even though they've been come out here too, just because they're kind of outnumbered out here. But in America, they're not afraid to call you a nigger anyway. Right? Wow. There's no bridle on the tongue. Call you anyway. Call you anything they want to call you. But it is to us that is pertaining all these service of God and promises. We are the ones who will be getting the glory in the end. But that glory not going to fall in a lap. You're going to have to do some work. Because you have 144,000 to wake up. When that amount is awakened, then which is basically equal number in all tribes, in all 12 tribes, when that amount reach that quota, then the Most High will say, all right, Christ can return now. You're not even that wait for everybody to wake up, Because I know said 2/3 are we going to die. It will be good for all of us to be saved. But if when you go on the street, you're going to start hear people, some man foolishly telling you this thing. Oh, don't be no one rule the world. The same Rasta man who want to say, oh, me just want to go down the bush, go down my mountain and sit down and be at one with nature. But this nation that is ruling the world is poisoning the world. You can't be at one with no nature. You soon have no nature. There's wildlife, the trees, everything is in danger. Fresh water. Then tell you if things continue the way it is now, couple of years from now, much years from now, the wars that are going to be fought is going to be fought over fresh water. Because the rivers are being polluted, the streams, the sea, everything getting polluted. So what kind of fresh air you think you have in the mountain? You're not going to have fresh air in the mountain. So it is important for you to take up your rightful place as the ruler of this world, so that even the earth itself and the animals can be saved. You know, business about mankind, since as mankind are the wicked upon the earth, fine. But the earth itself and the animals need saving. And it's when you take your rightful place in this earth that those are going to be saved. The trees, the amount of trees that they are cutting down, it's causing a problem. The amount of unclean thing that they're eating from the sea, that's what causing the sea to not being able to clean itself. The shell food that they eat from the waters is a shell food supposed to clean the waters. And is it you're eating out? So how do I clean itself? Eh?
Can't clean.
You know this thing, you remember this thing they call the polisher, floor polisher, where you polish the floor you use and the electric one. If you have that to clean the house, or even the coconut brush, and each time you get there, you mash them up. Oh, you clean the house. So if you keep on eating all the crab, shrimps, lobster, conch, mollusks, you name them, all the shell foods, you keep on eating them up. How the earth is going to clean itself? So that is why it is important that you, the black man, take your rightful place in this earth and get up off your asses and tap. Oh, I'm not interested in a rule in the world. All of them who see social just drop down same time. It's like you're being like what the one from the royal family who stepped down. Harry, what your wife name? Yeah. So you're being like Prince Harry. Want to walk away from your birthright. Prince Harry should have dropped down and dead in the world. You born to rule that kingship or that royal in that royal family. It's your birthright. Take it up. All right? It's just like we being born to rule the earth and we got married somebody who we should not have married. So God kicked we out. Same thing with Harry. Even if you got married, no Israelite. Stick to your own. That is what the Most I want you to do. He tell us to stick to our own. So it means that the others should stick to their own. Marrying and giving in to marry. These are the things that the Most I don't like. Cross marriage, mixed breed. He speaks of purebred. He wants purebred, just like how he make them. If you allow every race to go and marry, 200 years from now, what race of people have on the earth?
Gone.
See? And there is no such thing as no mixed race. It's what's the word? When you mix them up, they become mongrel. You ever see some people you look on them and you don't know which race they belong to? They say, I'm not Arab. But you don't look like white man either. And you don't look like black man. What race in me? Mongrel. Hybrid. All right, that is what? That is romance. So it is to us is pertaining all this glory that the Most High have to give to mankind. whose are the fathers of whom was concerning the flesh Christ came, concerning the flesh, spirit, flesh, the bloodline, Christ came. All right, that is Romans. Romans 11 and 26.
Canada one can. This is the book of Romans chapter 11 verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
So in the book of Romans, in the New Testament, there are those who tell you that when you speak from the Old Testament, speak from the New Testament, man. What the New Testament say? Well, here, this is what the New Testament says. And so all Israel, read it again, and so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written. What do you mean by all Israel? You know, mean every single one of you know, because many are still dying. It means all 12 tribes. Both those who were in Jerusalem and those who were cast out. The 10, those in Jerusalem said, them can't come back. They most I just make everybody get kicked out. Now they can't say, them can't come back, because guess what? They want to go back too. So all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and that deliverer is Christ shall turn away ungodliness from us. That is how we're going to stop breaking the laws. When him deliver us, salvage us, change the way things run on the earth. Because you are being tempted too much. If you broke a young lad want $200 or $100 in your pocket and you need to eat, what is the first thing you think about? Tell me, young man. When a man have a small amount of money and he want to go cook a pot, what is the first thing him think about? Yeah, man, one tin mackerel, man. And mackerel is unclean. It has no fin now. It has no scale, I should say. A fin, yes. But it has no scale. So it falls under the unclean food. That's what the oppressor set it. So why him couldn't catch the clean fish and can it? Salmon. Salmon is clean fish. Look at the price of canned salmon. Expensive, you know?
Canned salmon fish.
Salmon, yeah. You ever see the can pink salmon? Salmon is clean fish. You have fin and you have scale. Right? And you have the You're right. And yet still it is clean food. Why they make that the one that cheap? Why is the unclean mackerel cheap? So as to keep you in sin. By you sinning, they will be on top. Jeremiah 31 to 33.
Canada one can. Canada one can. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. Verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people.
All right. Now a man on the street asks, so God didn't know, so we know sin and everything. So what make him make with no sin? Yeah, he want you make a choice and he want you go and you see why you get the consequence. As a matter of fact, because man has fallen from the time of Adam and Eve. They coming back to the Most High requires now you to understand that you need to you have to follow what he says. In the time of Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve learned what it was to disobey the Most High and the consequences in disobeying. The angels don't know what are the consequences of disobedience to God, because they were not made that way. That is why I'm saying you little higher than the angel, because why? You know good and you know evil. And this was what the serpent said to the woman in the garden. God just know why he knows if you do that, if you go on a tree there, you're gonna know good and evil. And you're gonna be like him. And you know why you be like him. Now that was a deception. Because the people who the Most High was raising up in the garden was not supposed to know evil. They were just to know, just like the angels. Go and take up that pan of water. You're going to take it up. You're not supposed to know what are the consequences of not taking up that water. Or in other words, you were not supposed to know what happened to your hand if you push it in fire. Right? So, this comes, say the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not everybody on the earth. The same ones who he made the covenant with in the time of Moses. The whole Bible is all about that. It's our laws, it's our history book, it's our road to salvation, it's our road to eternal life. And we are on that road. Them other nations don't know what it is like to be punished by God. God never punished them enough. They go through hardship, but they are always able to take themselves out of it because it's not God put them in it. But we know what it is like to be in hardship and can't come out. And it's God that protect you out. We know that. They don't know. So once we come in the truth, our ears start to get locked off from them other nations. You go and talk what you want to talk. Say. You can chat anything you want to chat. Me feel it, so me know. You understand? Right. So this is what Israel has become in these. He was saying it to Jeremiah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers, the day that I took them by the hand out of the land of Egypt. And they broke that covenant. Even though I was a husband to them. We are the warring wife, you know. Unto the Most High. The woman who every time you forgive her, she go sleep with the next man. Yeah. Every time the Most High forgive you, we go there, we worship another God. That is the warring, that. If our women were sleeping with another man, you know, probably the whole nation wouldn't pay for it, you know. Because the Bible speak against that, but they don't even speak of it as much as they speak against we going on to other gods. Call us war for that. We go warring to other gods. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. So in from the time of Jeremiah, he was telling him this is not something that is going to come now. This is something that is going to happen after those days. What days? The last days. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God. And this is when some of the man them now on the roadside says, so what make him do this from the beginning? But guess what? Because we had already sinned from the time of Adam and Eve, he wants to make restitution to bring us back into Garden of Eden. That is the kingdom of heaven. It's Garden of Eden we're going back to, where everything was paradise. Everything you want was right there. There was no hunger there. There was no hunger there. The food, everything in abundance in there. And from the Garden of Eden, you were able to feed other nations. Make no mistake. In time you get the Genesis breakdown, you understand that all nations were in the Garden of Eden. But the ones who were given the rulership over the garden, that was the sons of God. All right. So, is you Christ come to die for? You see it all and you see it all so. Oh, so you wonder now. So if I come back, what am I do? A cloud will come down and take up people or whatever. Well, guess what? He coming back in chariots. Chariot took him away, chariot bringing him back. Matthew 5:17 to 19. Book of Matthew.
Cancer, the book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy but to fulfill. Verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
All right. So those laws that the Most High set when Christ came, he followed them. Christ never come to destroy them. He come for you, so you still have to keep the laws. And don't let the strong delusion hold you. Yeah, the delusion is strong out there. All right. All right, take me to Zechariah 5:1 to 4.
It says Zechariah chapter 5 verse 1 to 4.
Zechariah chapter 5, yeah.
Canada one can. This is the book of Zechariah chapter 5 verse 1. Then I turned and lift up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Verse 2. He said unto me, what sayest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Verse 3. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth out of the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. Verse 4. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of a thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof.
All right. So, Zechariah got a vision of something that he called a flying scroll. You know the scroll? Open out, so. The one where you see with it, where you see it in a Sabbath service and thing.
Okay.
Where we are on the shoulder. Or something where you roll out. You see shows with them.
Yeah,
Right. So him see one flying saucer look to him like one flying scroll.
Yo, my boss.
And he said, all right, so the angel said unto Zechariah when him see it. This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. So in other words, you see them curses and the pressure where you feeling because you break the laws. Yeah man, the angels they up there, see to it that you'll get punished. Right? Then come down here, walk amongst men, and see to it that you get punished. Why? Because you broke your covenant. You sign to it. And if there's anything occurred, everything you understand about the Most High, the Most High just look past something and say, sure, all right, we can go on. When him say that, the next 3-4 generations to pay for him. Yes. It means not like us who just forget things just like that. Moreover, we go and sign a covenant with him in blood, saying that yes, we will follow your laws, and if we don't follow it, you are to punish us. Yeah, man. You must ensure that you get the punishment.
Right.
I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of that steward falls by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. The curses follow you everywhere you go. All right, so that is the one of the that is angel in the flying whatever it is there. Ezekiel 1:16-17.
Canada one gun. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Verse 17. When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went.
All right. So that is Ezekiel
Chapter 1, verse 16 and
17. Ezekiel 1:16-17. So Ezekiel got a vision of a flying saucer. Right? The appearance of the wheels and their work, it looked like a wheel. So this one MC look round. Was like onto the color of beryl. Beryl is that the greenish color. And they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their four sides, meaning that just like how you hear, if you listen to them recent, since America want to come up with the Space Force, and they start listening to the pilots of some flying things that they buck up on. Thing inside up there flying in front of them and thing, and then they need to go up, it just go up. Want to go down, it just go down. Need to go sideways, just dance sideways, whichever side. It don't turn like our plane will go and make it turn. You don't do that. This is how the flying saucer work. So Ezekiel was written before Christ even come on this earth. And yet still, this is how deceptive the white man is. The white man make it come like it since of lately, you have them flying things in the sky. Are there really aliens? Are there this? Are there that? Guess what? It's in the Bible from a long time. The same book that you read and find and know where to find us as Israelites. And the same book that you read and learn how to control us. The same book tell you about the flying, about the angels, and you know say them did it. But try and play smart now and talk about it. Are we alone in the universe? You know, them questions are like is modern questions.
Yeah.
These were known before Christ walked this earth, and Christ walked this earth over 2,000 years. So man knows say the angels have power of flight, can fly, because Christ was taken up in one. Who else? Where the prophet the name again?
Elijah.
Elijah was taken up in one.
Enoch.
Enoch, well, right? You know, others were, a lot of people were taken up in one. They have the couple records in the Bible. But the white man make it look like, you know, like this alien thing. And him so bright calling the angels alien. When him is the alien, because him is the only one who want to destroy the earth to the level that is happening. You know what they do, the American Indians? They kill out all the buffaloes. In 1 year, they kill more than 1 million buffalo because they realize that it's the buffalo that is keeping these American Indians out there in the bush. The big sitting like cow, the animal. They get meat from it, and the hide, which is the skin, keep them warm during the winter. Keep the American Indians, when they make the clothes out of it, the jacket.
Okay, so you live in the woods.
They can live in the woods and survive off of the buffalo. Then get milk, then get food. Right? You know, America just hunt them down and kill them. Kill the buffalo. Just to kill out the American Indians. That is him is the alien.
God.
They come and call the angels. Who from Genesis tell us and them make the earth. Let us make man. Who was he talking to? You see one of them when you see flying around in these flying saucers. They were the ones who made man. But you come now and call them alien, and they make you. You are alien. All right. That's Ezekiel. Isaiah 66, 15 and 16.
Canada one gun. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
All right. So this is the judgment that is going to touch the earth. It's the chariots that is coming to bring the judgment. The same chariot that is coming to save you is going to bring judgment on them other nation. And that will be the first time they are going to ever be punished for what they have done to you. The Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger and with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. So the white man tell you, no blacks around, and some rebuke you from the area. And the more, see the rebuke where the most I give them, I burn them up.
God.
But what they will be doing now, you know, is retreating to their underground bunkers. That's their plan, you know. That is what they have. Every nation have bunkers except Israelites, you know. But they can go underground. When danger opens up, then go underground and them call it bomb shelter. Are deep underground military bases. Dumps, right? But they can move the entire army underground. So if a nuclear war break out, they can bring the army underground. And they have shopping centers, houses, all kind of something. They have communities. It's like we have a mountain, then cut in at the mountain and build. Then cut underground and build. All of them places that they have from. I'll train, run underneath ground, connecting these areas. You have one community out there, so you have a train or connect here, so this community to that community. Everything. Anytime a nuclear war start, that's their plan. Because the Most High coming to rebuke them with a flame of fire. But in another class, you will hear what going to happen to them after the flame of fire pass. Because that flame of fire, that is your redemption, you know. It's a flame of fire to them. Just like how Pharaoh, when he took us out of Egypt, Pharaoh was coming after us because there was no one there to be his workers in the kingdom. No one to sweep the street, no one to be of service to his ministers in their private houses, so that they can come and take care of the nation business. In other words, when you are a minister, so you know, like the prime minister or prime minister, I have 3 helpers. One in the kitchen, one wash the clothes, and one deal with the cleaning up of the place. And then have a gardener. Those is to free his hand so that he can tend to the nation's business.
Fine.
Right. So when we now leave Egypt, there was no one to work in the home of Pharaoh's minister, so that he can go do the nation's business. And there was no one to build the bricks, and there was no one to build the pyramid, no one to sweep the street, no one to do nothing. So I'm saying, you know, we have to go back for them slaves. So it's the same mindset is going to happen. These people, you saw them treat the Americans, black Americans, it's because of the wealth that they are gaining from us. And it's not, even though the Judah is in the land, it's not only Judah. Yeah. Huh? It's not only Judah that they are benefiting from. They are benefiting from us in the Caribbean here too. A lot of Americans have hotels out here and other business, making millions of dollars. You wonder if you see a lot of them books, you wonder if is really Jamaica this? You wonder if so much US dollars spent in Jamaica. Yeah, man. But all of that is on our backs. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Right? So he tell you what he will be doing. And that's his chariot. All right, next one, final one. Ezekiel 1 and 22.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 22. And the lightness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures was as the color of a terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above.
All right, why was it called a terrible crystal? What's a crystal? Like glass, something that you can see through, right?
Like a
crystal clear. When I use the term, it's crystal clear. It means that I see through what you are doing. So the crystal is something you can see through, yeah.
It look like a magnified glass.
Magnifying glass. Yes. Right. So in the glass that you have and your window, I think there's a crystal in it.
Crystal glass.
Right. So here it is telling you that the thing that was over the head of the angel while they were in the chariots was like the terrible crystal, which was glass. Why is it terrible crystal? What happened to what broken glass do to you? Cut you up. So it's terrible. So it's like the terrible crystal. So he was seeing the chariots and he was seeing who is flying the chariot. Because just like think of the front of the airplane of the glass. Except that for the chariot now, the glass is right around it.
So actually you can see through it.
You can see through the top of it and you see the pilot. Right. So in the time when I think it was Elijah, when the other person, when they came for Elijah and Elisha saw the chariot, he said, "Chariot of God." Like I say, in Kosabadod. Or you know it's a bad word because he go repent and ask forgiveness or whatever. So him do use a curse word and say, chariot of Israel and its rider. So he saw the angel and he saw the chariot taking up his prophet. Those were witnesses. All right. That was Ezekiel 1. And 22. So all that we have read comes from where? The Bible. But at the same time, we say we're going to hold back 2 Thessalonians. Find back 2 Thessalonians now. 2 and 11. Because at the same time, all this that we have spoken to you is the truth, but you will choose not to believe it. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 11.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 11. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion, and they shall slap that they should believe a lie.
Right. So you're still going to believe the white man that the thing that him searching for there is extraterrestrial life and they are aliens. You're still going to believe the white man that Jesus was white. You're still going to believe him that Christ died for everyone in the world to save them from their sins. When Christ died for you because the laws were given to you. So it's you can break the laws. Somebody in America can break Jamaica law. You can only break the law in America. So how the whole world must break Israel law when the law was given to Israel? It's only Israel can break Israel law.
Israelite can break the law.
It's only Israelite can break the law. Because his youth was given to. The Most High didn't tell the white man say he mustn't eat anything out of the water without him. He must not eat what don't have fin and scale in it. And then tell him that. And tell you.
Yeah, tell the Israelite.
Yeah. That is why them now.
Israelite is the chosen people.
Exactly. But chosen for what?
To keep his commandments. And
chosen to be the leaders in this world. Because it is by you ruling the world. It's like you have some children. And you realize whenever you leave and you leave one in charge, the place dirty and all kind of things happen. You leave another one in charge. The place is clean, everybody is fed, clothes washed, the place is kept. You see to it that all that the house is kept, right? That's you. When he put you in charge of the earth, all nations are taken care of. And the earth itself and its animals are taken care of. Right? We have been ruling the world for a number of years before the white man take it over in 16 something. For him take it over, it has been going downhill. Cut down trees, eat animals where enough to eat.
slap your water down.
Dirty up, build factories and rather than just because to clean the refuse from the factory is going to cost him some money, him don't do it. So he pollute the environment. But even though he pollute the environment, you know, if he wasn't eating out the animals that were to keep the environment clean, the environment could still be clean. Because the pigs, they are to keep the earth clean too. Right? Them name every little thing, them go and dig up the earth and thing. They were the ones, you never used to have landfills for garbage. You just have somewhere you throw the garbage and the pigs go through it and eat out when they eat out. They say they eat pampers and paper and everything. So they would have been cleaning up the place. And what they give you fertilizer, then pass it out back as waste. And it goes and fertilize the place. All right, any question?
Yeah, sir, no question.
Any question, young man?
No question is well.
All right, so with that we pass the class to priest and officer Kayadwan. We're 10 minutes over the time. You can just say the Lord's Prayer and prayer for the poor.
All right, clap it up. All right, these are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and a commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, there are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, verse 8 to 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, that is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. You know what I mean? This is the first day of the 7th month, and it's on Monday, the 6th of September this year. You can find this in Leviticus 23, chapter 24 to 25. Reminding Akiam and Aquatiam to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, he's to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say I-Madium, which means to stand. You say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, Sarlapanya Akwadam, which means turn and face the east.
Copy.
Everybody ready?
Hello.
Yeah, I hear it.
I hear you through the speakers.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, hear me?
Through. Can you hear me? Not hear you through the laptop.
All right. All right, so I'm
So,
just have a phone.
put the phone close to you.
Yeah, man. All right.
All right. So, in Lord's Prayer.
But now,
When I hear you through the phone, what happened?
okay. I don't know why you're not hearing me through the phone still, because, all right. So the phone, yeah.
I'm going to call it straight.
Yeah, hear me through the speaker, through the through the
No, you're
streaming.
choppy. Choppy,
Oh.
choppy.
I signal. Slack, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, hear me right now.
Just close it through the phone.
All right. All right, let's start. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabashamaya.
Shabashamayam.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Aya.
Aya.
Shamka.
Shamka. Yahweh.
Malakwatka.
Malakwatka.
Ta'a.
Taba'a. Atazaka.
Zaka.
Aya.
Maya.
Aisha. Barataza. Kawa. I. Bashamai. Nathan Lanao. Lakam. Kal. Yawam. Wasalat Lanao. What now? Wasalat now. What now? Wala. Tamaya now. Banasaya one. Abba. Our Shai now. Maya. Right. Kaya. Naka. Amalakwa. Wahala. Atapara. Ma'aiwalamyam. Amen. In English, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy kingdom come. Thy kingdom come. Yeah. I said, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever so be. Amen. Yeah, man, continue. Can. Yahweh Basham Yahushai. Baba Kosha. Nathan Lanao. Akak. Larapa. Kalmakala. Kalmadawa. Akak. Lada'a. Amatazaria. Akak. Lakoya. Kamatyam. Akak. Ilwakawa. Atamala. Lagarashan. Basham Yahushai. Tawarama. In English, Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, Sobi.
We're going to give one credit to the teacher and men of Israel. By Mario Shabbat.
Yahweh Basham Yahushai Bakatam. Yahweh Shama Alatan Basham Yahushai. In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up-and-coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel, who are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said he would send plagues upon the earth before he frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. Shalom.
All right, everybody, remember to subscribe, like the video, you understand, share on all social medias platforms, all right? And with that, we say shalom.